Morning. Coffee. I had to take a couple days off, busyness with other things going on, so I appreciate you guys watching today and checking out this one. We're getting more of these out. Not every day of the week, but as many days of the week I can do where I'm not too tired from morning radio when I get back or from shows at night. But hope you had a good Labor Day weekend. Zac Bryan, Zac Bryan, country singer, was arrested and got a mugshot, the whole 9 yards, whatever. And I guess he's a big time star. I don't know if I know some country music. I don't know that. I guess he's got a number one hit right now with Casey Musgrave. I know her, like the Rainbow song. But again, his statements were that he was arrested for like obstruction, but they didn't say what. They're like, I had an incident with the Oklahoma Highway Patrol. Emotions got the best of me, and I was out of line. And the things I said, because he was arrested and then to go on his way. Doesn't sound like much of a story. I get it that you're like, hey, it happens sometimes. But this is country music. This pisses me off. This dude just did obstruction. We don't know what it is or what he did. He didn't shoot people or fight them or run moonshine. You're a country singer. I get it. They're all pop culture people now. But why did people love country a long time ago? Because every time you heard a story about a guy, it's like, and Merle Haggard took his fist and beat up the whole town of Tennessee or whatever the hell it is. Like, it was more fun then. This is Zac Bryan. I'm sorry that I was obstructing. No, you're supposed to be like Burt Reynolds or something and slapping folks around and being crazy. You're a country singer, for God's sakes. You're supposed to be a rebel, an outlaw, on loose. No, that's why there's no feeling in country music anymore. Stories like this. He's like, I apologize, my mugshot's probably flying around somewhere. Yeah, there should be shirts. Remember Johnny Cash? There should be shirts with your face on it. You're and everyone's like, oh, that's an hombre. He's loco. And we need that back. Where is that? I'm not saying I want this man to now start hurting police officers. I love police officers. I think police officers should have been able to rough him up because he was crazy and out of control, and they throw him in a cell, and then he has to perform from that cell that night. Then he has to. And Casey Musgrave's like, oh my God, how dare you do that? And then she sings a song about him being a crazy jail guy. Well, I don't know. They date. I think it's just a song. What I'm saying is, where is the heart gone in country music? This is a terrible, terrible thing. This normal arrest. I'm sorry for obstruction should be that he's jumping over a cliff, the cross county line to stop Boss Hogg from catching him. That's what this should be. It's country music. I need banjos. I need bad dudes with him. I need to know about sketchy folks. Someone's got to be named the Colonel. We need that back in country music. We just need it back in life. Good shit like that. Not this. I'm sorry that I said words that were not appropriate. Like, maybe he did do crazy shit, but whoever his PR guy is, you stink. You stink on ice. It's not going to help his country music at all. You're trying to cover it and make him seem good. No. Lean into the country. Be the bumpkin. Do the thing. There's an article in the New York Post today that was talking about how even though the world is progressing and women are making huge advances, that they noticed in a study that women, more likely than not, when getting married, are taking the last name of the man they marry still. And I think there was an article written by a woman. It was kind of like, hey, I don't know why they're still doing this or whatever. I went on a date recently, and this came up just like a conversation. Like, if you got married, what would you do? And she said that she would not take the name of somebody. And I'm like, yeah, you shouldn't. Because I don't own you. Why would I get your name? I've never had a problem with that. I think how it should work is when you get married, hear me out. I understand lineage and all that, but are you a king? Are you passing? You're still passing on the line. It's still who you are, your DNA. So stay with me on this one. Some people are like, oh, she keeps her name, you keep your name. Yeah, maybe. Or maybe you make a dope new name together. You don't have to like ship it together. You know what I mean? Like, what was that, Pitt Stain or whatever Jennifer Aniston and Brad Pitt were? I don't know. You don't have to put it all together like that. We'll make a new one. Like, if my last name is Oates and I'm dating someone, their name is like Johnson, and we're like, I don't want to be Johnson, like, I don't want to be Oates. Okay, so like, what do you like? I'm like, you ever think about being Shabadoo? And they're like, whoa, Shabadoo's cool. And I'm like, Pat Shabadoo? That's a cool name. And then together, we become Shabadoo. Because now we are a new thing that works together. That's who we are. But then when you get divorced, you get your old name back. There's no fighting or whatever. It's a merger. You come in, you do your thing together as Shabadoo. And then when you come back out, you're not Shabadoo anymore. And you're like, when people say, oh, were you doing this and this at that time in life? It's like, well, I was, but I was working under the name Shabadoo. I wasn't working under the name Johnson. I think that's how it should work. That'd be more fun anyway. Because think about the fun. Yeah, we sit there, the wedding planning and the boring, all that stuff. Coming up with a dope new name like you're a porn star? That's a good time. And together and making sure it fits both of your names. That's fun. And then your kid gets to be Shabadoo if you have a kid. And then Shabadoo, when they get married to someone else, they can get rid of Shabadoo if they want. They do their time with Shabadoo and then they lose the Shabadoo. Then they Shabadoo. Doesn't matter anymore. I don't think it matters with the name and things like that. Keep your own whatever, but I think that should be implemented. That sounds more fun to me. There's a woman in Arizona. By the way, a lot of people are going to get upset with this last one, and hear me out. A woman in Arizona was arrested recently because she left her elderly blind dog on the side of the highway. I am agreeing. You should never do that. You should never leave any of your pets out. You should always treat your pets wonderful. Not really a pet guy, but I do appreciate it. I've never been a pet guy because I've never really had pets. But man, the people I know that have pets love their pets, and it brings them joy and love. So I understand all that. Maybe just because it hasn't been someone in my life. Maybe if I become a Shabadoo and someone brings a pet into my life, I'll be like, yeah, I love these pets. Whatever. But what I'm saying is, it's just awful that she abandoned this dog and everything like that. It took a week to find her. When they found her at her home, they questioned her. At first, she said she'd never been to that county where the dog was, and then she did admit, yes, I did leave the dog there. She's arrested. She's got court coming up, all that stuff. Criminal charges will be pressed. All that will be taken care of. This is a big story. I've seen in several articles. People are out there. You know what else I see out there on the side of the highway? Elderly dudes and women who look like they were blind and beat up, and no one is trying to find out who made them loose. Why is no one trying to find out who made them loose? By the way, instead of calling them homeless, I think we should call them loose from now on. I think that's more fun. Oh, is one of them loose Americans? He sounds like hobo, but like better, like he's on the loose. But these loose people are out there, and more than likely, yes, it might be on their own demise, but somebody at one point was hanging out with them, and now they're not there anymore. Even if they're living alone, there was a landlord. Why aren't we investigating why these people are? Why aren't we going up to them and going, hey, why are you on the side of the highway being loose? And then we do a search, and 6 days later, we find a lady, and she goes, I don't know that person. And then a minute later, she's like, my bad, I know that person. I'm not saying we arrest them, but we help figure out a plan to get them back together. Why aren't we doing that? I know we're doing it for the dog. I'm not saying don't do it for the dog. That's where I know you're going to get mad. I'm not saying don't do it for the dog and do it for the people. I'm saying do it for both. That's what you can do. You can do it for both. I'm saying we don't have the manpower. Solve a lot of problems if we get people off the streets and get them safe and do that stuff, and your dogs too. And if someone's on the loose, you won't be loose. How about you have times if you battled stuff and you're like, I can't pay rent this month, and you're like, I might be on the loose sometime. You want to be able to have somebody find you on the loose and then come and say, hey, we got to figure out. And like, maybe they go to your parents, maybe they go to people in your life. They go somewhere where they get you back and going. And if you keep going, if you admit and go, nah, I went loose on my own, then you're loose on your own. Well, let's do it. Do it for the dog. Terrible lady. Should get in trouble. I don't think jail times matter, but should be in trouble. They find something like that. Maybe not allowed to be near dogs or anywhere animals anymore. The dog is safe, by the way. He's at a safe shelter, and I guess they're getting ready to give him a home. So the dog is safe. But there's people on the side of the road that aren't safe. Like near my house, there's a guy who's shirtless and he plays a guitar and he asks for money in the middle of the road. Someone come get him. Because when I cross the street, he's just playing guitar at me, and I didn't pay tickets for his concert. Somebody needs to be arrested because that man is playing music in the middle of the road. He's on the loose. Let him go. I appreciate all you. I hope you have a wonderful day and morning. Coffee.